our previous session with Chinyere, the blind lady who came here to share a story with us and also like enlighten us on what it is to live with disability. So in this session, I have the director for special education in Ebonyi State. So can we meet you, ma?
Pleasure to meet you.
So how was your journey? I hope it was not stressful.
Yeah, fine. Smooth.
Okay. So ma, I just want you to give me like a brief, intro to what your administration was like. How did you all start?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, special education in Ebonyi State is as old as the creation of Ebonyi.
Okay.
When Ebonyi was created, and the first executive governor having interest or empathy for special people now asked the ministry to establish special school. One of his kind, the first was at Obefia.
Okay.
Then the second one, though that one was sponsored by an individual, a blind man.
Okay, here in Ebonyi State.
Here in Ebonyi State, the one is at Osio Hozara, Umoka. And then before we have the faith-based, is at St. John.
Okay. So how long have you been the director of special education?
For the past 5 years, I've been a director.
Okay, that's amazing. That means you have like at least solid knowledge, and you've really been into the works of working with people with disability. So ma, I know you reached out to me saying you listened and heard the story of Chinyere, and you want to. I just have few questions as well that I would like us to discuss about so that we can piece it. So ma, my first question is the last part of Chinyere's story. She told me that she knows someone in our village, in our community, that she was raped by someone in our village, and even her parents had to like tell her that she should be happy that a man even noticed her. You understand? Like they made her not the victim per se. So what is the role of your administration for a case like that? She's still with her parents presently. What role is your administration supposed to do to like maybe come in and step up and do some things to assist her?
Yeah, first and foremost, we'll get the proper address
Of
of the lady.
Okay.
We'll get their proper address. And then if we are coming in, then we'll do collaborate with other ministries, Women Affairs and Ministry of Justice.
Okay.
In a case like that. But first and foremost, as I said earlier, is to get the information about this lady.
First.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so how many people, you mentioned that there are special schools here in Ebonyi State. How many disabled persons attend this school? Do you have like maybe a round figure number of how many people go to these schools?
At the inception of Obefia, there were more than there were almost more than 200 for a start then. But administrations has different interests and mandates or vision.
Yes.
From the onset, the key actor then had focus on mandates on education, unlike other administrations
that has
come after him.
Okay.
So at that time, it was support, from the government, feeding,
tuition fees,
even though now that education is still there, tuition free.
Okay.
But other aspects of it, because all the students then were bothered. So we have them in primary school, we have them in secondary school, but they are being cared for.
Okay.
Feeding wise and other little things were being complemented.
So, how has the ministry tried to be inclusive about their education? You mentioned they are in primary and secondary. Are there people that finished from primary, secondary, and moved to tertiary institutions here in Ebonyi State, or any other place that you know of?
Yes, there are many that have graduated from primary school to secondary, and it's in secondary at Obefia that it becomes inclusive.
Okay.
In primary, they are being separated. because of all these crimes and bullying.
Okay, discrimination.
Discrimination, but in secondary school, they become inclusive.
Okay.
So from there, they will graduate. Some have gotten admission into universities. Some have even graduated.
And even gotten jobs?
So that of a job is what we are still looking at.
Okay.
Because of the economic situation in Nigeria today.
And also, there's also like, is there like a high rate of stigmatization against them? Do most people want to work with them?
Yeah, there's a stigmatization. Even, it's not only in working, in their private lives. A blind man will not come to marry and you agree to marry that person starting with.
Why? There are people that marry people.
That's what I'm saying, that you will discriminate. Your parents will say, of all these handsome men
not
in
all,
our community.
Not all, actually.
And you decided to go low to a blind person.
It's
and
not
then,
going
so
low.
also, that's what they will say. I'm just telling you how they are being stigmatized.
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
And then the girls, the man will tell, the parents of the guy will tell, can't you see people with two eyes? Why are you going to marry a blind woman to bring into her house? So also in the job, and you see that they will tell you, some company will tell you have not even done with sighted people. We can't take blind people. But it's left for government. I know they are doing things like Women Affairs. They have a place that they do
provide skills.
Yes,
okay.
To keep them there.
For skill acquisition purposes.
Yeah, for skill acquisition. It's only that if they have any partnership that will just support them, I think they will be alright.
Okay. So I know you said that their stigmatization is really high, but what has the ministry done to combat this? Because you're here now, have you set up like conventions, conferences to enlighten the public as well that these people, these disabilities are not, communicable diseases? The fact that you probably, like you said, a woman might not want to marry somebody that is blind. It's not communicable. A child that she's going to give birth to, if she marries a blind man, that does not mean a child is going to become blind. You know that, right? So have you tried to institute like programs that would enlighten the public and change their perspective about people with disability?
No, the department of the unit has not done that.
Okay.
Because of funds
from the government.
From the government. Okay. This is not what you just rush into. You have to sensitize. You create awareness on this, and you cannot do it without the government approval. But what we are having now is that for now the budget that is coming, if they will approve of it, because we have in the budget builded in inclusive education. So once this budget passes defense and then the approval, I think that will,
then we'll be able to start.
Yeah.
Okay. So presently, that is what your administration is working on right now?
Yes.
Okay. So with the strike and everything that is ongoing right now in Nigeria, as we know, is general. Is there like programs that you are setting up to also assist them? Because a lot of them might be, I know of Nigerian students that are discouraged already, that are not disabled. They are discouraged. They don't even want to go back to school. They feel like they don't have the energy to go back to school. Do you think, have you thought of programs that you want to set up in this period to just occupy those with disability?
Yeah, like I said, every activity depends on budget. You cannot work outside the budget. So once it has been budgeted, you now go ahead and begin to plan the activities that you showcase.
So, and for Chinyere's case, our family was very, very, without the help of those people, those nice people that helped her with her education and the friends she made in school, I know that probably her story would not even be like this. It will not be a sweet tale to tell for her. But there are other people that do not even get to, see help from other people. How do you go about getting to assist these people? Or do you have them come to meet you, or do you go to meet them?
Yes, the governments do recognize them once they apply.
What if
like now
some people
in
don't
the
apply?
department, you will not get to them. You know, it's just like commerce. If you don't say here I am, nobody will say there you are.
But you know,
So-
what if some people are not enlightened enough? Not everybody goes to school.
It's not everybody that go to school, but there must be a channel. Unless after the awareness, then people will begin to awaken to know that it is good for them to send their blind or other physically challenged people to school.
Okay. But do you make awareness in rural communities? Like not just in Apakaliki alone, like you go to rural communities to make awareness.
Yes, like that at Ohozara,
Okay.
the Omoka. There, a blind man, Frederick Obaji, she's a staff, she was employed as a staff in this department.
Okay.
So he does it. They communicate with others. They even send parents running PTA meeting that this school exists. Let your children that is blind or is autistic, let them come and then be educated. They will do better.
Okay.
So that's it do happen now.
Thank you very much, Ma, for
Yeah.
coming. I truly appreciate you enlightening us more on your, administration and what you've been doing. So thank you very much for coming once again.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for staying till the end and tuning in once again. This is the Literacy Solution Podcast. This has been an interesting session from Chinyere to the Director of Special Education. In the next episode, we will be discussing the final closing of the disability inclusion in rural communities in Ebonyi State. Until the next time, bye for now.